regardless. But I'm curious to know what you think we're actually going to see. Who do you think is going to get the win?
Oh, it's going to be a tough one for me. You know, I'm going to be boring. I'm going to say Altern.attax as well. I reckon Tompinai will push him to a game 3, but we'll find out nonetheless. I can't imagine Altern.attax not being part of a grand final. Do you know what I mean? It feels wrong, but they're not there. But if Tompinai make it through, it'd be fantastic stuff. But we'll see going into this first war of the day.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what we're going to have coming in with these attacks. You know, just solid, strong starts from these teams. You know, it's really, we're talking about, again, air meta that's in use, and all three of these teams that we're seeing featured today are just going to come in likely hammering down with the air. And of course, Boom in here with, the Lalo. Absolutely love seeing him coming with the Lalo. And the Queen on her approach towards the Town Hall, we can see that beautiful path that was already cleared out by the blimp. And, you know, this is giving the Queen such easy access to work through. Now she's taken down the Town Hall. Obviously won't get past that single targeting Inferno, but that's no big deal for her because we've cleared out a huge percentage of the base for the Lalo to actually take down.
And use that invisibility spell on the RC just to keep it alive, but also just keeping the HP up as well to continue making absolute work on that northern compartment. But the bulk of the attack now coming from that 2 o'clock side. The Loon's pushing on forward, but you can see he's just trying to take out the Eagle at the same time. Does manage to, but the Eagle does get the shot off beforehand. So we'll have to take a little bit of damage going forward. And the Loon's also coming from that 5 o'clock side. So good stuff from Boom so far. Just a few bits and pieces to clear up here, including a couple of those Inferno towers. But look at this, Toby. This is a fantastic attack so far. Nowhere near a time fail. And it is absolutely going to be the first triple for Altern.attax. What a fantastic start to this war.
This is a phenomenal way to kick off a war. You want to get the momentum going just from the start. Dropping down those 3 stars is key. And again, that Blizzard, a really nice way to just keep that opening going. And that's something that we actually get to see quite a bit coming from Boom. He's been really settling in with the Blizz Lalo meta right now. And you can see the power that it does offer, providing additional support, not only for funneling out your the pathing for your Lalo, but the pathing for your heroes there as well. And often we see it helping to pull out some Clan Castle troops and move things along.
I just wasn't ready for that at all. The fact that he had 50 seconds left, he could do what he liked straight afterwards. That was unbelievable. Because every time we normally see Boom play, it's not really as aggressive. Normally it's quite, you know, more of a calculated player with his approach towards a lot of his attacks. And instead, we saw a completely different version of him. And you know what? Love to see it. Love to see it. Great preparation from him and great aggression there to not really give that base much of a chance for the side of Tompinai. But we'll see how Almu-Alin is going to come into this next matchup. We'll be starting with the Queen on that southern side to take out that storage and going towards the Wizard Tower as well to avoid any more splash damage. But we do have the defensive RC with that scatter shot and the Expo as well, and using that Loon to see if he can find any traps along the way. But won't be finding too much, but we'll take a few bits and pieces down. But there's going to be a slow start here for Almu-Alin for Tompinai because, as you know, we saw him get that first triple for the side of Altern.attax. He wants to try and do the same for Tompinai to have a good start as well.
Yeah, so we have the King actually helping to shape up the path for the Queen here, but he didn't get that first additional wall break that he wanted in. He wants his Queen in the scattershot compartment, finally gets that second wall break in. I don't know if that's going to change the value of what he was hoping to see, but he does have the funnel set up so that the King can actually force his way into the Eagle compartment because he has the Yak working along. The fact that he didn't get that initial wall break in means the King can still beat his way and get that Eagle taken down. But we need to see the Queen redirecting, coming in to help pick off that scatter shot so he has the full set in place. But I also want to point out the use of that lightning spell. That not only did dual purpose here for the Queen to get her pathing through and, you know, helping to navigate the path for the drag riders, but it helps for the blimp. It cleared out that nice path, took down some of the structures that surrounded the town hall, so he gets a safer push coming into it with this goblin blimp. And now he can set in place these drag riders with a nice, clean, moving line. The only thing is that the King did not take down the Eagle, but one lonely drag rider in this compartment can get it done.
Certainly can indeed. At least he's taking down that town hall. The Dragon Riders moving towards down south from that northern compartment. Already done a fair amount of damage, but will it be enough? It's going to be very difficult, but the RC does come in from that 3 o'clock side, as you can see, just making sure to take out the rest of his defenses in that town hall compartment. It's already taken down that Inferno Tower, still hasn't got any spells left to use, so this is going to be pretty tough, but at the same time, it's all going to be about that time fail if he'll be able to succeed. But it seems to be okay so far. Needs to try and turn this expo as soon as possible just to avoid any more casualties along the way. But even with 20 seconds left at the moment, it will be a little bit close, but I think he's going to be perfectly fine here. Almu Allen can be pretty damn pleased with himself, just making sure to take out their storages in the center as well as storage on that 4 o'clock side. It's going to be a tag close, like I said, to see if he can make sure to try and get this triple to make sure to get the rest of these storages. It is going to be very tight. Will he be able to finish it off? Yes, he does. With 1.5 seconds left remaining, I was just assuming that triple was going to come. I was a little bit skeptical at first, but he's going to be okay as Tompinai also get off to a dream start.
Yeah, great way to kick off this war. Both teams coming in, firing away with those triples. And, again, that strategy is, we get to see the Queen Charge Drag Rider strategy as a dominating strategy. But the key with the lightning spell just really helped out the pathing of the Queen. You mentioned the use of so many spells, but there was nothing left over for the Drag Riders. We often see this coming in because those spells help navigate the pathing. The lightning sectioning off for not only the Queen, but getting that blimp in. And then those rages really need to help support the Queen. So you want to invest that much. The Drag Riders are super tanky, so they can really provide that push on their own, especially when you can get that much power out of the pathing from your heroes.
Yeah, those Dragon Riders are tanky indeed. We've even seen some compositions where they're using not just 7, but 8 Dragon Riders coming towards a lot of these bases. It's been very tough for some of their opponents to even try and defend against. But again, it's all about their execution as well. As Ast from Atn.attax is going to be coming in hot straight away with that blimp, going into that compartment to see if he can do as much damage as he can. Has taken down that Wizard Tower, the scanner shot. Still got a Tesla there, and he's still got the Expo down south, but he's done what he's needed so far. He's going to be pretty pleased about that. Still continuing to do absolute work in that compartment. Use that invisibility spell as well to clean up that Expo. So great stuff from him.
Yeah, also trying to get that Royal Champion down. Ooh. Just gets it with the final invisibility spell. So he's invested all of those coming in, but clears out a nice path. We've already eliminated the clan castle troops, makes an easier approach for the heroes coming in, particularly because he's going straight for that town hall. The Royal Champ taking advantage of the king, who's doing tanking not only for her, but for the Queen here as well. So she can sneak through, pick up the multi, and we've got that smooth, clear set into the town hall compartment. And notice that he's bringing in Ice Golem here. We see a lot of ground bows defending town halls right now. Plus, we've got a lot surrounding it here, including a single targeting Inferno. So nice use of the Ice Golem to actually provide that additional tank for the Queen to ensure that, this wall break is not playing nice, but he actually has the opening from the Yak. Oh my goodness. Let's see if this Queen actually passes in. She should be fine to go for the town hall.
Has a huge amount of loons in his back pocket, as well as those lava hounds to take that damage. He does have a few haste spells as well. Just depends on how he's going to position him and how he's going to use him as well, going into that town hall compartment. The town hall has been cleaned up, and now that's been confirmed, he's going straight in for the bulk of the attack on that 4 and 3 o'clock side, taking out those compartments going forward. And now the haste spells will be coming out to push those loons and give him a kick in the backside to push towards the center. And already this is looking quite good so far. This is all about that time fail. Minute 10 left remaining, but so far so good, going towards the Eagle compartment in that southern side. Lava Hound still actually alive, tanking all that damage and giving these loons a lot of room to breathe here. In terms of defenses left, you can see you've got that Inferno Tower and the Wizard Tower just on that western side, as well as the Archer Tower down that southwest side. So looks to be okay so far. And it's just funny, Lava Hound is still alive, still able to continue to take that damage. He's already got his value worth in gold. And he's going to be pretty pleased about that. Plenty of time left on the clock, and that's going to be another triple for Atn.attax.
Yeah, that Ice Golem was pretty much going strong the entire raid, just freezing up at the end. But did you notice that freeze in the core of the base? The placement over the multi, there was a ground bow there as well. The timing was superb because that helped alleviate the pressure from that ground bow off of the headhunters who were coming in to help take down the defending AQ. So really smart planning within that. A lot of times if you're doing air, you're kind of thinking, okay, what air defenses am I going to focus on? Not necessarily about the ground ones, but if you're bringing in headhunters, you do have to be mindful of these long range ground bows here as well.
Yeah, that's the problem. So you have to use those ground bows to keep them away. And I know it's good for air as well, but at the same time, it's very difficult because it depends what you want to prioritize and what to expect from some of these compositions. It's a very difficult. It's hard to say. It's a very difficult decision to make, but normally ground bows are the safest bet anyway. It's like not just for extra insurance, but it's just for an element of caution, isn't it? Just to try and keep it secure as possible. But we are going to go to the second attack from Tompinai. Altern.attax got back-to-back triples, and do you know what, B? Tompinai going to be looking for the same, aren't they? So we're going to see who's going to be coming up next. It will be the likes of React. He did try and defend against the Boom earlier on, funny enough. And now we're going to see if his attack is just as good. It's going to be coming out with the blimp straight away to go into that 5 o'clock compartment, bringing out the spells as well to take down that scanner shot and some of the Teslas in terms of the farm. And we're about to take the Wizard Tower as well. Maybe should be okay. Yeah, it's going to be perfectly fine so far. It's going to be pretty pleased about that.
And you notice the rage drop there because we had the defending royal champion in there. He wanted to make sure he cleared out the compartment. The one thing he wasn't able to get because it wasn't forced deep enough into the base is the lure on the clan castle. But with the queen making her path through, she will be fine because we've got a queen charge at bay to work through and get into the town hall compartment. It's not like we're working on it alone with just the queen on her lonesome to try and take this down. So as the queen takes down the royal champion, we do have to continue to push her along, but we've even got a jump to work through. I'm curious to see if he's going to try and wall. Okay, we're going to just full on direct jump. So this means we could potentially use this additional wall break for the king in a separate compartment. And we've got a multi. We even have an eagle that's looking mighty nice that king can help with some of the pathing for.
Yeah, dropping that jump spell and the invisibility spell, but also dropping the rage spell as well, just to keep the queen alive and just increase that DPS. The Lava Hound does come out, so it will be a bit of a pain so far for React, just delaying things going towards that town hall, but he's going to be fine. It's probably expected in his case anyway. So whilst he deals with that, we're just going to see what other cautions he needs to have along the way. It looks like the Dragon Riders will be appearing on that 4 o'clock side. The Eagle's going to be targeting them straight away with the Warden as well going forward. The King Yak creating that pathing, just continue to make sure to destroy those structures going up to the north side. But again, yeah, that Eagle is targeting those Dragon Riders, so needs to be a little bit careful here. The Queen is still alive, though, in the other compartment. Did take down that Town Hall momentarily. Have to deal with those expos here. It will be a bit of a pain, but should be okay nonetheless. But that Sweeper is definitely going to help delay things. But will it delay enough here, B? We'll have to see.
Yeah, this is actually moving pretty powerfully through this base. And we can see that wall break in for the king to get into that multi-compartment. Because of the side he came in, he wanted to force the drag riders through into the scattershot compartment. A little bit of distraction, but they do make their way through, and the king can help with the cleanup. Queen was in a perfect position to continue carrying forward past the town hall and that poison bomb, of course, and able to reserve the ability to come in strong and help as well with the cleanup here as just a few remaining drag riders stand on this base. 27 seconds left to go, but he's got this spread out perfectly to come in and again drop another 3-star. These teams do not want to let up. I wasn't sure if we were going to see a high-star war count here today or if we were going to see lots of defenses coming in, but these teams look like they're ready for a pretty close high-starring match.
Yeah, they're looking pretty damn fresh, aren't they, so far? The first couple of attacks here from both of these teams. I was expecting the same. I was not really sure whether we're going to see, a high-star game or just the fact that some of these base builds are a little bit unpredictable. They may struggle to not only get that 3-star, but depending on percentile, they might not be able to clean up due to maybe a time fail or maybe a failed execution in some way. There was, a few glimpses where I wasn't really too sure how this was going to pan out, but it seems to be pretty standard like we saw back in the play days. Neither team is actually stopping themselves and trying to get that triple. And this has been pretty good so far in terms of execution, which is exactly what we love to see. But at the same time, Altern.attax have 14-starred pretty much every base here, even though they had to go straight to the loser bracket, losing on percentile against MCES in that first match of the day yesterday in the opener. But it looks like they're ready to take on any team or any base at this point, and it's been good to see what they could come up with. And we don't really know how much they've revealed so far. They might have already revealed their cards. Maybe there's still stuff they're saving. We're not really too sure. Maybe if it goes to a third game in this series, maybe we will see a little bit more, or something a little bit unexpected in terms of compositions or base builds. But this first one, it kind of feel like these two teams are just trying to ease themselves into it, but at the same time trying to cause as much havoc as possible.
Yeah, now I was looking at my notes from yesterday about our play days, and ATN didn't have many losses, obviously, but they did wind up losing to Tompinai, and that was in the first week. So that was perfect for them, for Tompinai, 14-13, to be able to hold ATN back. They're looking to do this again today, but both teams are definitely keeping those 3 stars rolling through. Yo-Yo with this opportunity to keep the the hopes alive for ATN and try not to give Tompinai any ground to chase them on. And we do have more Queen Charge Lalo action, exactly what we would hope to see coming in from the ATN side, with a Queen who's actually clearing out the pathing towards a Town Hall, makes her way straight in. And with the use of this King, he can actually force this along even further, taking on that scattershot compartment. A beautiful reach for the Queen there to take down the defending AQ. What I'm curious to see is the placement of the Royal Champion, if he's going to try and force her through to pick up that multi and, well, pick up the air sweeper, but potentially pick up that multi.
It's funny, I saw the wide variety of spells down below, and I was just like, I don't even need to see who it is. I knew it was going to be Yo-Yo straight away without even looking. So going into that left compartment, the King already doing damage, taking out everything in that left compartment there. And will get taken down eventually, but it's pretty much done its job anyway. And there's a Lunix you can see from that 9 o'clock side, just trying to find any traps and just trying to see what could be potentially a threat along the way. But the RC again came in early. He's actually going straight into the center to turn on that Expo. Just not really bothered at all here, but he's just overextending to take that down, and we'll have to pop that ability, perfectly understandable. But here we go with all these loons, as well as the Stone Slammer coming out to try and do what it can to get in front and tank that damage. And at the same time, though, we'll be going towards that Inferno Tower as well, so it's going to be pretty close here.
Yeah, he's sectioned off a beautiful path here, avoiding the damage zone in the core where we would suspect to see all the traps. That Royal Champ will really help by cutting across the Queen. But look at the Stone Slammer still going. It's essentially like having an extra hound in the mix. It's super tanky and then opens up some additional troops to boot. But I expected to see the Queen actually making way to take down the Royal Champion, but it didn't happen. We've got the Headhunters there stalling up. We have the Royal Champion already down for the count. That Electro Owl can help out quite a bit, especially when you have some minions and pops working through. And we're not even going to get to find out what Yo-Yo actually had in this clan castle, as it goes completely unscathed to the end of this raid with an insanely clean Lalo attack. Yo-Yo is back in form on his game and ready to go. This is the mastery of Lalo 23.
Yeah, that was a disgusting attack there from Yo-Yo. And what annoyed me as well is the fact that I went, oh yeah, it could be pretty close. And I looked at the army going forward towards the east side, and I was like, what the hell am I on about? It's nowhere near close. It's absolutely flat in that base, like it's his day job. So Yo-Yo, good stuff from him. Again, 3 triples in a row for alternate attacks. And once again, Tompinai have to respond. And it's very difficult because even though, yeah, sure, fair enough, it's neck and neck, it's pretty much the same. It's still a lot of pressure on you going second in this matchup. You could say, well, you know, Nerves could get a better view because you're the first one up. But I still feel like going second is the worst, because when you actually see your opponents constantly giving out these great attacks, and not only are they very great, they're clean as anything, so smooth, and it's like the wide variety of strategies being used there, especially from Yo-Yo, was just brilliant, and we couldn't even ask for more. And it's becoming more and more of a tall order for Tompinai, and they're seeing it again, and they're just like, oh, you know, do we have to get a perfect war? Is it going to go towards, you know, percentile or time? Well, not percentile, obviously, but in terms of time, just to see and try and secure this first game, it's going to be really, really difficult for them, but we'll have to see. Still, we're just at the halfway stage, and already alternate attacks showing what they do best.
And that perfect war, you know, coming down to time factor, we got so close to seeing that during the play days. I think, what was it, like maybe 1% shy? That was one of the Elevate matches, but we got completely robbed from seeing that. I think it would be incredible to see during this series. And if anyone could do it, it is the 3 teams that are playing today in the finals. Now let's see what Machu has in store for us. Bringing in, you were talking about this, you wanted to see those Inferno Riders coming through, the combination of the Inferno Drags and Drag Riders, just supporting what used to be a very dominating strategy. It took a little bit of a hit from a slight nerf right prior to this recent update, but the Drag Riders actually helped offer this powerful support to it. You still want to keep it pretty narrowed through, and that's where you see the heroes coming in to help section off, push those Drag Riders and Inferno Drags into the center of the base, and we're still using freezes and the Skelly spells to help distract the splash damage, giving the heroes opportunity, but also helping to give these Inferno Drags the opportunity to power along here as well.
And Maturio, literally no mucking around here, but he's super aggressive out the gates, no picking at certain compartments or anything like that. Just came in hot, but Could it cost him? We'll have to see. He's already made it into the Town Hall compartment. It has actually been pushed away, but it doesn't matter. The Town Hall has been taken down, which was the absolute priority there. And there's still a few Dragon Riders left. And even with the Warden as well, it's going to be... Actually, even having a look so far, he's still got a few Inferno Dragons in the back line. He's still got a couple of Dragon Riders there, but still, they're pretty weak. But when again, you got to remember, like, he's still got plenty of time left, but this is what he wanted, really. This is why he actually made a full-on launch attack at the very beginning, because they're quite slow. It's going to be a possibility that there could be a time fail. He doesn't want to risk anything here, but it's looking very good so far here, babe. Very good.
It really is, and that air sweeper may be a bit of a design flaw, because we just saw those loons get pushed out of the poison bomb and help clear out some of the outlying defenses, which gave this just the extra leg it needed to come through. But we still have the Warden Tower that packs such a nasty punch here, as the Inferno Drag, who's super low health, can't even take it down. So you know what? Regardless of that air sweeper giving a little bit more boost to this, there's not going to be enough power to get this done. The Queen standing on her last leg here, and we're going to see this riding probably at about a 98% 2-star. And yeah, that is exactly what it is going to be. That Queen only able to get down one last structure before being taken down by the Expo. A beautiful attempt here by Machuo, but we're talking about a 98% 2-star lethal, which if ATN slips up, puts Tompinai in a phenomenal position today in this first matchup.
Oh no, we've been waiting a while for this slip up. It took like what, the 6th attack, and finally we got it. And yeah, it was a real shame. But I liked the fact that he was very aggressive from the get-go. He knows with Inferno Dragons, you've got to get the job done quick. You can't start picking apart certain compartments because he wouldn't have enough composition in order to execute that attack there. Perfectly understandable. But for you guys who just tuned in and just watching this best of 3, we are in the loser bracket final between Alternate.attax and Tompinai. We couldn't separate these two for dear life. Finally, we can, as sadly Machuo did actually get that 98%. And yeah, it was very close. Sadly, the execution was great, but just wasn't great enough, as he lost against the Expo and one of the other structures as well. So it's a little bit of a shame for him, but it doesn't matter. As for Alternate.attax, it just means that one minuscule slip up will cost them this game. So even if Tompinai loses first game, they've still got a couple more to come back into it. But it's a tall order in itself, defeating Alternate.attax once, let alone twice, B.
Yeah, but if there is a slip up, you know, we saw it yesterday against MCES. I believe it was a 66% 2-star. When you're going up and you know that the slip up can only be a 99%, it makes it that much harder. We're talking about, like, they need to try and go pretty much perfect in this match to at least start off on the right foot here. So Tompinai does have a big advantage. If I see those high percentage 2-stars like that in a match like this, you know that that team that just has a small, like, percentage there difference does have a huge advantage at that, because we know Tompinai can bring in these defenses. We've seen them do it time and time again, being able to hold off MCES to 13 stars yesterday, Tribe to 11 stars, and I don't know if ATN would have started off with their strongest bases in this first matchup, seeing what they've done in previous rounds of best of 3.
I don't think it's going to change their mindset either, because at the end of the day, they're going to need to get back-to-back triples anyway and get the perfect war, considering the percentile we saw from that 2-star. The only difference is it won't go to, you know, time. It will just go by they've won by an absolute, you know, by the tiniest margin. So yeah, I feel like, you know, I don't think it's going to change in the slightest. They still need these, well, the perfect war coming into it. But Lenade, we were speaking about him. We know he didn't have the best of starts against MCES, but he looked phenomenal against Tribe yesterday as he redeemed himself. And we're going to see if he can continue these triples, because he's already had 2 in a row so far from the 2 attacks he made against Tribe. He was sure he wants to go for the 3rd as well. Already made a good start to make an impact in that southern compartment. And the Queen's going to be making herself known here, just taking down that Lava Hound soon enough too.
Yeah, helping to take down the Inferno to give the Queen safer passage, moving through into this one, and getting the Clan Castle lure, which pulls it out to a corner where the Queen is taking on limited damage. Yes, we have that long-range ground bow that's targeting her, but that is the only thing to worry about. So this is beautiful pathing using a Yeti blimp to help shape this up and forcing this Queen charge along. We're going to see even more navigating through. We do have the opening, you notice, over on the 830 side of the base for the scatter shot. Likely we'll see the King coming into that compartment, helping force this along, so we can see the Queen working deeper inside the base, as we already have this powering opening up for the multi-targeting Inferno. But I'm curious, the Royal Champ likely will come in with these drag riders. So we need to see a little bit more push along to come into the multi, where the Queen actually took a beeline. She didn't go into the bottom side of the base, but this might give her the opportunity to take care of a little bit more cleanup and have some life left over. We'll have to wait and see if she survives.
Yeah, I've just been keeping a close eye on the Queen to make sure it does survive. The sweep is keeping those healers back from the Queen, so it will be able to survive anyway. Defensive RC there as well, but the Queen got a few hits onto it. But look on that northern side, that's going to be the most important, as already the Warden's been taken down. There's only a couple of Drag Riders left. They're only on half health, and the Eagle Artillery is prioritizing those Dragon Riders, and that is not what he wants. He would have preferred it on the Queen, so at least that way it can re-heal along the way. But yeah, this is going to be very, very tough. Linade, I did say, didn't have a great first attack against MCS. He's going to try and make sure he could do what he can to take on his Eagle Artillery, which he does. But look at the defense left so far. Still has the 2 Archer Towers there as well. The Wizard Tower in the left-hand side for splash damage. But he's got 35 seconds left. The Queen still has to break through this wall. It's going to be costly. It won't be enough DPS here. Nonetheless, it's going to be so close. But the thing is, though, the Archer Tower is focused on the Queen, but the cannon in the other Archer Tower is out of range, which is going to be a real shame. 20 seconds left. It's going to be close. Nonetheless, it's all going to be based on percentage, as we're going to find out exactly what percentage it's going to be. Remember, guys at home, Tompinai did hit 98%. Are we going to see another 98%? We're not going to see a triple, but we're going to see what the Queen can do. It could actually be identical here. 97 going to try and go for that last barrack bit. It does. It is going to be 98%, which means both teams are going to be on the exact same percentile, as well as stars as well. You couldn't make it up if you tried.
Oh my goodness, come on now. We've got a potentially tied war on our hands if Tompinai comes in with that next 3-star here. That is absolutely insane, but you know what's a bit unfortunate is that we've had one drag rider cut across the base, pick up some traps, and really just lost the health he could have had to the tail end of this. So that is, it's unfortunate for Linade. But great turnaround, great recovery, and keeping this one as a super close matchup. You know, we told them, we said, need to try and get that 99%. Wasn't able to do it, but held it toe to toe. So I think they're in for entertaining us today. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, I think so. You know, some entertainment value, some flair along the way. I can understand that. Tompinai, though, are going to be giving us more flair, I hope, coming into the next attack. As if I do get a triple, it does mean that they will be tied on percentile and stars leading up to the final attack. And, you know, if you're not entertained here watching this at the ESL Moment Challenge Finals, like, I don't know what else we can do here, as we're now going to start off with the Queen with the Rage spell coming in from that 7 o'clock side, pushing towards that Town Hall and taking out some of the defenses there as well.
Yeah, so nice freeze early on for the single targeting Inferno, giving the Queen safer passage coming in. And the thing is, she's got a lot of defense coming down. We do get the poison freeze combination, freezing up those the super minions, which means they're going to continue to fire away, but they do actually get into that poison quickly as the Queen takes down the Town Hall. So she's going to recover nicely here, not having to burn through the ability. And that's a very important thing. In these kind of Queen charges, you want to make sure your Queen can reserve the ability as she makes her way through, typically to the middle of the base, but this started so early, especially with the drag riders. You want it for the back end because she still needs to continue her path moving along towards the expo that is targeting her and beat her way through into the walls to the multi-targeting Inferno. But look at the addition of the Stone Slammer here. King helping to force us along. The Stone Slammer coming in right in line for the scatter shot, but getting slightly distracted, but it will try, I would say, and help funnel things back in and push it together.
Sweeper is doing a great job just keeping this attack back, but will it be able to, as the Stone Slammer was placed perfectly in that 10 o'clock side earlier on to tank all that damage. And we're going to see if it's going to give the Loons and the Dragon Riders, as well as that Warden, some leeway here. You can see the minions in the back as well, just trying to make sure to clean up anything along the way. The Queen does get taken down in that southern compartment. The Dragon Riders are still alive, still got a little bit of health, but as I'll say that, they took a chunk of damage going towards that right-hand compartment. It's going to be quite close here, as there's still that multi-Inferno is doing a huge amount going forward, but yeah, I must say it's going to be a lot tougher than we expected. But in terms of time fail, though, we'll have to see, as already continued to take down that cannon. He's got the Archer Tower on the southern side as well as the eastern side too. The Warden's still got a little bit of health along the way, but the question is, will he have enough of his army composition in order to be on cleanup duty here to get that triple?
No, and there's too much on the bottom side of the base. It's a little bit hidden there, but there is an archer tower down below and a
Ah, yeah.
storage. So there is not enough time for the cleanup here, particularly considering there is a storage down below. Unfortunate for Michael, but again, we do see with these queen charge drag riders, it's a very powerful strategy. If it goes awry, more times than not, we're seeing these high percentage 2 stars coming in with it. And that royal champion really did a lot of damage. You saw as the lecture owl was there trying to pick it off, it was the defending RC was just picking away at what remained of those drag riders, and just not enough support with the headhunters at the end to come in and help knock her down. But Michael, overall, with this 90% 2-star, it's not a bad position, but it does put them down now on the star count. So I'm sure Lineda's pretty happy now about that 90%.
I think he's going to be more relieved of it more than anything. I'm not really too sure. But no, I do agree with you nonetheless. They could have tied things up. It could have been all even Stevens, but sadly for them, no, it's not. There could be 1 star behind coming into this. And it means that if Atn.attax get a triple in this final attack from both teams, then it means the first game is said and done, and they'll be up 1-0 in this best of 3. And this is not something Tompinai want. So it means fate's not in their hands. It beats all in Atn.attax, and we're going to see what happens in this final attack to see if they can literally try and finish this off with that 1-star lead.
Yeah, so it's still a lot of pressure, let's be honest, because you know that you don't want to slip up in any means. And that would mean they need to, if they 2-star, thinking that Tompinai could 3-star at the end, they would need to come in with this 91%, considering Michael's 90%. So, you can do it, but when you're having to rely on a 90% 2-star, I'd be a little bit worried. So they got to come in clean here. But you know what? I think they're kind of confident because they've got the MVP. I call him M. Vala P of the 2020 World Championships, riding all this pressure on his shoulders and coming in with one of the strategies that he used to do quite a bit of, and that's dragons, but now switched over to the Hydra. King opening up here, providing the funnel that is going to need to be seen to give this better pathing. Oh, and I'm noticing 6 bat spells that are going to come into play here too. So this means we're going to have to try and limit as much splash damage as possible, especially because there's only 2 free spells on this. So the Royal Champ's going to have to support, and we're going to have to limit as much of the Wizard Towers and take out those scatter shots so the bats can get full cleanup value here.
Considering Atn.attax had an average percentile of 98.6% coming into his ESO Mobile Challenge, is not something you want to think about in this final attack, because like I said, it's going to be in the fate in terms of in Atn.attax's hands if they want to win this or not. The Drags come out on that 1-2 o'clock side as ready, with those loons coming to take out the defenses in those northern compartment, and already looking good so far. He's taken out the eastern compartment as well, just to give us a bit more leeway. The Eagle Artillery is just focusing on those drags, but even then it's going to be bulk of it. The Dragon Riders also coming from behind, and we know how tanky Viano B just going towards that Eagle Artillery. It's obviously the priority there to make sure that's taken down as soon as possible without to take any more damage. But Vale, like you said, definitely one of the most valuable players coming into this. The Blimp coming in now as well, and we're going to see what it can do to do further damage onto Tompinai's base.
Yeah, so with this Blimp coming in, he's looking to clear out the core, ideally just keeping the pathing navigated toward the bottom side of the base. And don't forget, we still have these bat spells to come through, with the multi and the Wizard Tower actually in really close proximity, where he can get great value out of a freeze. But he starts the bats from the opposite side, trusting that the dragons can work their way through, but they first need to get past the defending Royal Champion. Bat sweeping across, being very patient with those freezes. Just 1 left to go, and he needs to use this on the Wizard Tower. I'd love to see support from the Dragon, because we know, oh, there it is, the freeze combo over the Wizard Tower, over the multi, with the rage to try and sweep them across and get in quickly, but they don't go for the multi-targeting Inferno. They go for everything but, and they get picked off here. He tried to play that one right, but he did not have enough power from those dragons to really help support it. And with this is giving the opening, what did we say, a 91%. It was needed for them if Tompinai triples to win this first matchup, with only 14 seconds left to go and just a few units left over, the minions and the archer. It is not looking like it's going to be a go.
I don't believe it. I I'm not gonna lie, it was looking so good to begin with. Even with his spell position, it was looking good, but just couldn't take the rest of that attack. I'm still just like a bit surprised. Don't get me wrong. Sorry, guys at home. Yeah, just a little bit shocked. But yeah, that means that Tompinai, if they triple this from terms of percentages, I think, or I'm actually almost certain, but mathematically they should win this, no problem.
Yeah, the 3-star gets it for them, gets them the win. It was a 91% that ATN really needed to try and solidify their spot here. So yeah. That's a tough go on this one, but it also puts a lot on the shoulders again of the last attacker. We talk about this pressure situation when you're coming in with these hits and you know it's a difference maker to try and clutch a war. And yes, it's a best 2 out of 3, which means there's plenty of opportunity. But you still want to be starting off with the strong position, with that first win here to try and capitalize off the second match and force that team out. Kreason here with the weight of the world on his shoulders for this one. 3-star, or they're going to have to work harder in the next matches to try and get this one done. Coming in with the reliable, with the trusty Queen Charge Drag Rider. But is it trusty enough to pick up the 3-star is going to be the biggest question of the day here as the king works his way through into that eagle compartment, sectioning off the path, forcing the queen along so she can get deeper into that base, right up towards the town hall.
Well, we've seen plenty of Queen Charge Dragon Riders throughout the entire Cosmopolitan Mobile Challenge. I'm not surprised we're seeing it again going into this western compartment just to see if the Queen can use that rage spell in order to take out the rest of it here. As the Eagle Artillery is actually focused on the Queen, and you can see from the southern side as well with the RC just taking out the defenses there. The Rocket Loons come out to help out a little bit earlier just to finish off that Eagle, just so that the Queen doesn't actually take too much damage here. But remember, guys at home, if Tompinai get this triple, it will mean that they'll guarantee themselves at least this first win in the best of 3, or at least that 91% 2-star. So at least for him, he doesn't feel like he needs to guarantee himself a triple, but we'll have to see depending on what value he gets from this next couple of attacks. So you can see the blimp going in towards the center from that town hall. The sweeper will be keeping it back. The Queen's actually gone on the outside to take out some more of these structures, but at least it will be taking up that AD in the process, which is going to be quite pleased about. But even then, though, I'm a little bit worried for Kreason here. We know there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders, but remember, guys, as long as it gets at least 91%, then it means that he'll be able to gain victory and a lead in this best of 3.
That multi go down for him. It did not, which means he has to get that wider spread of these drag riders, but he's still got a lot of support coming through. And the position of the Queen, I want to note that didn't worry about breaking through the center compartment, knowing that the Queen could reach from either side once she weaved in and out into that town hall compartment from the original scatter shot at 9, which is absolutely perfect. This has provided a lot of opportunity along with that Yeti blimp in the core of the base for the pathing to make this so much easier for these drag riders. Limited damage here, but even freezes up the single targeting Inferno for a safe measure to allow his Queen to finish off the cleanup here. We've got a lot of storages and he doesn't want to run the risk of time fail on this, knowing that he's still got some more work ahead of them. But this is solid for Kreason, coming in, bringing home the 3-star, exactly what Tompinai needed to clutch the win, the first win of this best of 3 matchup against ATN. This is a solid start, and we're getting to see 13-13. So you know what? Those star counts just a little bit lower than ATN was expecting to see after yesterday's match, 3 matches of 14 stars.
Unbelievable stuff from Tompinai coming in on top